I'm just going to give a brief rundown of some of the things we've been doing to try and help the province's children by ensuring their parents earn a living wage. And maybe I'll start by saying when I started this campaign when I was employed as part of this campaign a few years ago, people sort of gave me a look to go, wow, that's a wonderful idea, but it's never going to happen. Good luck to that. But I think we've come a long way since that. We now have 32 living wage employers. That are employers that have committed to pay their own staff, but not just their own staff, everybody who does contracted service worker, from cleaners to janitors to catering staff. And that covers 6,000 workers and hundreds more contracted staff. I think that's a huge commitment, and I'd like to thank all our living wage employers for making that commitment. We've also been talking to municipalities about the role that they can play in doing that. We were successful a number of years ago in New Westminster by getting them to become the first living wage city in Canada. We're continuing to have conversations with a number of municipalities in the Lower Mainland and wider. And we're also spreading out nationally. Living wage is being talked about in a number of communities throughout the province. They've all used our methodology to calculate their own living wage number. And now communities throughout Canada, from Kingston, Ontario, to Calgary, to Grand Parade, to St. John in Nova Scotia, are all looking at following what we've done. And we're looking at setting up a national framework for that. And probably one of the most exciting things that we're doing is we've started looking at institutions that we feel should be paying a living wage. They play an important role in our community, and they have the ability, and we believe should be taking leadership. And one of those is SFU. We've recently done a study of low-wage work in SFU, and we'll be releasing that in February, and we'll be making a public call to SFU to become the first living wage university in Canada. And lastly, as Adrian said, it is an election year, so most of our work has been looked at the local level, but we're also looking at the role that the provincial government has in relation to living wages. And one of them, obviously, is to do with in supporting low-wage income earners in keeping their expenses down, whether that's childcare, whether that's social housing, etc. But the other thing the provincial government can do is to ensure that there's enough funding allocated for its programs to make sure that everybody from healthcare workers to social service workers are paid a living wage. So we've written to all 4 provincial parties asking them to pilot this idea, to say that one department in the provincial government should become a living wage department, whether that's health, whether that's social services. So that means everybody from who cleans the minister's office to who provides healthcare services are paid a living wage. So we'll be ramping that up in the run-up to the election, and hopefully with your help we'll be successful. Lastly, I'd just like to thank, this campaign doesn't happen by chance. There's a number of people working in the background, from labour unions, community organisations, progressive businesses. I don't have enough time to thank everybody, but I'd like to say to everybody, I think you know who you are. Thank you very much.